Greetings to all of you beautiful souls from around the world, from the Grit Walker and the Postmaster. Tonight I desire to talk to you about what it means with having love with no conditions. We always hear about this unconditional love, but what if we took it to a different level and we have love with no conditions? What does that mean? Many of humanity hears about that, talks about it, preaches about it, but very few souls actually live it. I know I didn't live it for the longest time because I didn't truly comprehend it. I have gone through some challenges that have challenged me to look at this at a whole new level. So I'm going to share some of those thoughts with you, and what you do with them is completely up to you, each and every one of you. There is no judgment here, there is only love. But let's talk about it. So, what does it mean to have love with no conditions? Well, it is the same as unconditional love, except worded a little bit different, which gives it a different meaning. Love with no conditions means that I get to love every situation, every soul, every human being, no matter what happens. I get to love them with no conditions. But what does that really mean? When I'm cut off in traffic, do I have feelings about that? Do I react in a negative way? It all comes down to a choice. Each and every one of us has a choice to love any situation or any human being, no matter what the circumstance. The creation loves me and you with zero conditions. How about we return the favor to humanity? So, loving with no conditions. I get to choose every single moment to love something or somebody, regardless the circumstances that they have caused me. And it's a choice. For example, as I was saying earlier, if we get cut off in traffic, how do we respond? Do I bless them with love, accept being cut off, flip the bird, call names? What do I do with that? Unconditional love says, I love that no matter what. I get to choose the outcome. See, you can't humiliate me, or you can try to humiliate me, but you can't offend me. Only I can choose to be offended. But if an individual tries to offend me, That tells me and the world more about that individual than it does me, as long as I don't respond, and especially if I don't respond negatively. How I take those accusations, how I take mockery, how I take being humiliated says a lot about me, but it says a whole lot about the individual doing all of those things. And that gives me a choice whether I'm gonna still love that individual or not. We always have a choice. Unconditional love. I like to say it as love with no conditions, because we truly have a choice. There's many souls that face a lot of challenges in life, just like I do. And each and every one of us has a choice to make, whether we're going to love or whether we're going to have a judgment towards that circumstance. Dogs really are a great mirror of love with no conditions. A dog loves us no matter what. We can scold it, at times even spank it, but guess what always happens afterwards? If it's done with love in training, that dog, no matter what, will always come back loving us. But if it's done out of hate, that dog will eventually treat us the same. What we put out is always mirrored back to us. Sometimes it takes years for that karma, as it's called, come back to us. But the more we choose love, the more it comes back to us instantaneously. It is another reason I enjoy being around nature. Nature teaches us so much. There's deer crossing the road. But nature teaches us so much. So, what if the whole world, what if humanity here on planet Earth chose to always choose love no matter the situation? See, if we choose love, then hate has to leave. Love is like light. Light and darkness cannot meet. As soon as you go into a dark room, turn on the light, guess where dark's at? It disappears. It's the same way with love. If we love, hate has to leave. If we love with no judgment, we cannot be controlled. The most powerful thing is love with no conditions. I have been in many churches over the years. I have heard many sermons. I have heard many teachers. And I have heard it a million plus times about unconditional love. How we should live it, how it changes things. And the sad part is, all the preaching that has been done and all the proclamation that has been made over it, very few souls really live it. And that is the sad part. And that is why planet Earth is in this position it is in, because humanity quit choosing love with no conditions. So, what if we start doing that again? Well, that is exactly what it takes to shift to the new, what is called the new Earth. Once we start loving again, hate has to disappear. Hate cannot exist where love is at. And hate knows whether our love is conditional or unconditional. Wherever there is conditions with love, hate is always there to take its place, or to intervene, or to intercept, or to manipulate. Yes, my videos are not edited because I want them to be authentic. I enjoy walking in nature and sharing nature with you while we discuss topics like this, because they are important. It is truly the shift of what's coming, because more and more souls are choosing unconditional love, or as I like to say, love with no conditions. There's three principles that I have adopted to live by, and they are: love has no conditions, facts have no feelings, and humility has no ego. And today we're talking about love with no conditions. There's many things talked about: the shift of the earth, the change for humanity, and that is exactly what is being talked about. That's what it means to shift to what is called the new earth, the higher vibration is love. When we choose love over and over, again and again, no matter the circumstances, and we choose love, we cannot help but change and raise our vibration, our frequency. And that starts emanating out like ripples. When you throw a stone in a pond or a lake, the ripples go on for a long, long time. The same goes with love. Every time that we choose love is another stone in the lake, in the water, which causes and creates more ripples. And that is how we change over to the new earth, higher vibrations. And it really helps to go out into nature and connect with nature. Leave our devices, sit in silence, in meditation state. Because when we do that, we will have things come to us that we would have not thought of or heard otherwise. It is a peaceful state, but that peaceful state of being in that loving energy has to be earned because we are consistently challenged, tested to prove whether we are going to love with no conditions. And it can't happen all at once. I like to think of it this way: if I can be 1% better today than I was yesterday, then in a year I can be 365% better than I was a year ago. Well, I'm not perfect and I fail a lot in that category, but let's say I hit that mark 50% of the time. That's still 180% better than I was a year ago. Well, what if I don't? What if I hit it only 25% of the time? That's still 90% better than it was a year ago, which is almost 100%. So now all of a sudden we see the power of trying to be better, 1% better today than I was yesterday. That small act adds up a lot. Once I comprehended that, it didn't look so daunting. It was a small, simple choice. Maybe today I got to catch myself as I was halfway through cursing that individual that cut me off on the road. I stopped myself, where before I would have completely finished. Maybe I was a minute into ranting and raving, and then today I stopped myself from going a full minute, but only went 50 seconds. That's the power of the 1%. And that's how we change. 1% better today than yesterday. After many years later, all of a sudden, it is so normal to love every situation and every challenge with no conditions. Just my thoughts from my experiences, willing to share it with all of you, and hoping that we can speed up this shift of love and make hate go away. And the only way hate goes away is if we love, because it's a polarity. Everything has a polarity. There's hot and cold, left and right, up and down, in and out. The same with light and dark, love and hate. It all starts with that polarity. There's always a double sided. There's always a balance to choose. And the cool thing is, we all have a choice. Each and every one of us, every single second of every minute of every hour of every day. We always have a choice. And once we comprehend that fully and put it into practice and always choose love over hate, light over dark, then we can raise our own vibration, and in so doing, we'll raise others' vibration around us. So, with that, beautiful souls, I will tune out for now. Wish you all love and blessings, and let us remember love has no conditions, facts have no feelings, humility has no ego. Over and out, the Great Walker and the Postmaster. Until next time.